Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. And I'm mad about all the tweeting going on. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Fired for tweets. Throwing a Tico tantrum on Twitter. And actually, after I finished this episode, I saw Jon Boyega join in having his own little Tico tantrum on Twitter. And this is more for the behind the scenes. But I think in general, it's very, very possible, and we're going to explore this in this hot topic, that Lucasfilm and Disney would want their employees to stop tweeting and running their mouths on social media. It only makes sense. And these two right here, Rian Johnson and Jon Kasden, I think they are absolutely done. I think Rian was done before Solo, but Jon, I don't see how he could be writing another Star Wars story. His father, yes, Lawrence Kasdan, you're not going to get rid of him, but Jon, definitely expendable and not worth the effort or the liability. Definitely. Even if he finishes his job, he's going to run his mouth. And I know there's a lot of viewers out there that are hardworking. If you cost your company money just for running your mouth on Twitter, why wouldn't they do a shutdown? Now, let me get to the prepared part of this video. Okay, now, I'm here to tell you that the whole Tico tantrum situation that is going on really is shedding light to who are still Lucasfilm employees. Now, this is more behind the scenes. You can't fire Jon Boyega or Mark Hamill because they're in Episode 9. You know Episode 9 is going to have them as a Force ghost. So, of course, they're going to comment and be safe about it. But everyone else, I think it sheds real light onto the situation and behind the scenes. And yes, any responsible company that wants to make money should have a stance on what their employees do on social media. And this is just a disaster on unprecedented levels, and the arrogance of these two and why they're never going to work on Star Wars again. And I believe it, and I'm here to tell you they're not going to. Because they run their mouths, and why they're so vocal now just proves that they're not involved any longer. And Rian Johnson's trilogy was all hype and is never going to happen. Okay, including Kelly Marie Tran. She might just be going along with the Lucasfilm Disney memos. And if you honestly believe what Jon Boyega is saying right now, oh yeah, we're forced. No, I think a strong suggestion is stop with the social media garbage because it's costing us money. Down to the investors and the stockholders, they want these idiots to stop tweeting. Lucasfilm and Disney are on lockdown with social media, and their employees have to be. They may be playing dumb in the press. Like, how could this happen? Star Wars fatigue, racist customers. That is to save face. And it only benefits Lucasfilm not to address why Kelly Marie went silent. It's definitely possible she received horrible comments. Probable, in fact. Because this is the internet and social media. But the coincidence and convenience with the timing, along with the bombardment of entertainment news articles, it's just that Disney magic weaving for the public. And also, be prepared these next few months. You viewers love to call clickbait on me. She's fired already. They're not going to officially announce it. They're going to spin it and attack us for months until September, till it seems like, whew, good for Kathy Kennedy to get away from those toxic fans. They're going to make it seem like a horrible thing to be Lucasfilm president because they lost already. That's 100% why, 1,000% why I know it's happened already. It's because the amount of junk that's going into entertainment news against the fans. That's why I know, because it's so apparent. They're deflecting. And if you follow Lucasfilm and Star Wars for the Disney Kathy Kennedy era, you know this is all they know how to do. When they're in trouble, they deflect. That's why I know she's done, and that's why these pan-tweeters are going crazy and having a Tico tantrum on Twitter, because they're not employees any longer. I 100% believe it. Rian Johnson's trilogy, that announcement was all hype. It would have happened if the backlash didn't happen and he didn't go on for months. Maybe if he would have kept his mouth shut, even if people didn't like The Last Jedi, we wouldn't be in this situation. The reason we're in this situation is Twitter. Is these idiots keep going on and on and on. If you are in a privileged position, even if you disagree with the fan base, show some respect for people that have different opinions. And if you have to explain everyone to everything, like Rian Johnson fansplained his whole movie over these past 6 months, it's like a comedian explaining the joke. If the joke didn't land, it didn't work. Your movie didn't work, Ryan, and you're not going to get another chance. Okay, I lost my place here. Okay. I know a lot of you have day jobs, and when your company loses money, they know why. And it's very easy to track. The biggest dip in those interested in seeing Solo was after Jon Kasden's arrogant tweet saying he wasn't sorry at all, admitting there was an attempt to bring the agenda with the characters, and acting like they were bulletproof. Guess what? You're not. So let's examine some of the more recent tweets now. And I think now he's sorry. I'm sure of it. But if he was still a Lucasfilm employee, he would be keeping his mouth shut by now. There is 0% chance that Jon could cost Disney millions of dollars, and then they would still let him be employed, let him run his mouth, and work on a new project. 0! This is business. And one thing I absolutely know about Disney is money, and the bottom line comes first. Look at how much they claim to be all about this stuff and diversity and representation. Do you see Ava DuVernay's next film being announced by Disney after Wrinkle in Time bombed? No way. The bottom line's more important. That's why she ran to WB, Warner Brothers, for her next project. If Wrinkle in Time would have took off, believe there would be a new Disney project announced. It didn't happen. The bottom line's important. You're not above it, and you're not bulletproof. Now let's get back to the Tico tantrums that have been going down on Twitter with Ryan and Jon. Here's Ryan's recent Twitter comments. I've started blocking a-holes, and it feels so good. Man, what you and your boy Jon do, keep that in private. I don't want to know about blocking a-holes. On social media, a few unhealthy people can cast a big shadow on the wall. But over the past 4 years, I've met lots of real fellow Star Wars fans. We like and dislike stuff, but we do it with humor, love, and respect. We're the vast majority. We're having fun and doing it just fine. Yeah, that vast majority sure showed up for Solo. Quit fooling yourself. And then he says, what we talk about when we talk about man babies. I'm looking at the picture. I see a perfect man baby there. Definitely. And you're the one always crying on Twitter. And here's the one that killed Jon's career at Lucasfilm. Sorry to have brought identity, gender, politics into it. Nope. All caps. Not sorry at all. And I'm not going to finish that. You all know it. Remember that arrogant tweet? Flash to a few weeks later, and his tone has changed severely. Jon Kasden's Twitter recently, this weekend is likely your last opportunity to see #Solo a Star Wars story. That's a big change in tone from nope, not sorry. On the biggest and best large format screens near you. It's the only way to see Bradford's breathtaking work hijack the convex and foolishly plunge into the maelstrom. Enjoy, and never let them tell you the odds. Wow, that's a big tone change. And then look, fell short of expectations isn't what anyone hopes to hear in the bedroom or at the box office. What is... Mostly, I'm just thrilled by the reaction of #Solo. And if you want more Underworld stories, keep asking Disney and Lucasfilm for them. Believe it or not, they listen. No, they don't listen. And you would love for fans to keep asking for Disney to make Underworld stories. But guess what? You're not going to write them, Jon. And shut up about the bedroom stuff. Rian likes blocking a-holes, and Jon can't stop talking about bedroom stuff. And here's an exchange between both of them. Uh-oh, how do we know if we're a-holes? I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I may be an a-hole. Sometimes I suspect I am. And Rian replies, Jon, you are as far from assholedom as one can possibly get. And then he gives him a fist bump. Whew. If you have to ask, you are one. And you especially are one if you can't stop talking about a-holes. Obsessed with them even. Even droid ones. #we are sentient. #droid rights. Here's mine. Lucasfilm, fire them a-holes. Now, here is the bad news. One of those tweeters that got the memo and is quiet, that works behind the scenes, is Pablo Hidalgo. I think he knows better. So, to recap, what I really 100% believe is going on at Lucasfilm, Kathy is gone. And based on their behavior and how business works, because business and making money is important, Jon Kasden and Rian Johnson are gone too. Although I firmly believe that Rian's trilogy was never a thing, just a smokescreen and garbage announcement to project confidence in The Last Jedi when they knew it wasn't good. And the other reason I believe they knew it wasn't good was the strong arming theater chains with higher percentages. And to get that money while they could. Because there was a big drop-off. You're going to make records if you have the most screens ever. That's another thing I might work on, and another hot topic is the reason Hollywood goes for those headlines. What movie theaters have been doing now, or movie companies have been releasing in more theaters than ever, and as many showings as ever. And that's why they break records. And then they've been extending the weekend. Thursday's the preview night. Maybe even Wednesday, right before midnight. They keep stretching it and adding more screens. Of course you're going to break records. Don't fall for the hype anymore. And also, when they were saying they're giving a whole trilogy, it must be really good, was also an excuse to why they wouldn't have him direct Episode 9. It was just to deflect why he's not directing Episode 9, because people would have asked questions. But if you actually think his trilogy will ever see the light of day with him directing and being released, I feel sorry for you. Ron Bergman just keeps hoping. All those stories on like comicbook.com and all that other junk, all they keep commenting is garbage announcements. And Ron Bergman, they hope we will be busier soon, or that it may happen. Wow, that's confidence. The only updates about a trilogy in 6 months since The Last Jedi released were from Rian's right-hand man saying we hope to be busier soon. Translation, we hope the Blu-ray sells. And guess what? It didn't sell that well. And that's why another nail in the coffin of why it's never going to happen. Because when Ram made that comment, they were on the Blu-ray press tour. And the more recent comment, it may be released in 2020, never going to happen. Search your feelings. You know it's true. And you maybe think I'm wrong, but wait till you get to the official BS in September when they treat Kathy Kennedy like an SJW martyr. And they are going to be gushing about her long career and how she was a trailblazer, not her complete failures. You know what another theory I have is they're pushing this Kelly Moran being bullied so hard. I just have an image in my head of Kathy stepping down with Rose Tico hand in hand and getting all the praise they want and try to spin it that way. That's what I think. But if you want to see a full video about how they're officially going to announce it and they're not going to use the word fired, but believe it, she is. They will never say that officially. And that's what I told you from the start. This is how Hollywood works. She is done, but they can't just announce it. They have to spin it. Can you imagine if they just say, we fired Kathy and replaced her with John Lasseter? And John Lasseter is definitely a possibility. Timing is everything. They just announced this week he is officially done at Pixar. Maybe for another opportunity? Because I could easily see him take over with his work history, and especially if they move the Star Wars stories over to animation. Can you imagine? Recasting would be a lot easier if you have a voice actor and excellent animation. Star Wars, a Pixar story as theatrical films, or even more projects for the streaming service. They can't announce it without that spin. The SJW community would explode. You would have fans that are already upset, plus the SJW crowd that is loudest. But they don't buy tickets. It would be a marketing disaster. So if you want more videos, hot topics, and a video on what they're going to officially announce for Kathy, I have a lot to say about it. And the other hot topics I want to do are the Lucasfilm employees. The press, including Collider and Campia, are the ones creating the toxic environment and not the common sense channels. I'm really thinking about doing that one for tomorrow. So if you want to see those, comment below. And yeah, I do use clickbait. That's the game. When I go fishing, I like to bait my hook with master bait for big fish. That is what it's all about. But I talk about the subject, we have a discussion, and join in the conversation about a hot topic. And that's what I like to do. So viewers claiming clickbait, stop your Tico tantrums along with these idiots. Have a good one, guys. You don't have to follow me anywhere. Just comment below. Join me in a hot topic. See you in the next.